Dun 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 dun. Hey everybody, this is True Powers Mind. This is TPIMSR Live. In an effort to show that I do indeed am fair and balanced, we know that we've had a lot of Democratic guests and we have Republican guests as well. Okay, I want to take this moment to clear the comedic air because I don't want to be accused of pushing out a false narrative or hateful vibes towards anybody. Now, I recognize that some people have expressed disappointment, I guess we could say, with Mr. Cummings' life or what his policies were. But on a human level, I think we all can sincerely appreciate the fact that he is past. He's no longer here. He is survived by his children and loved ones, absolutely. But more importantly, because this was sent to me by an informant. Now, I didn't even know that they were doing a memorial deal, let alone broadcasting it. Okay, so we're going to see all the usual suspects, and we're going to break it down. Like you can tell this lady here knows. She's like, oh shit, True Power's going to get a hold of this shit. And we're going to break it down. Let's start the show.
What do you give when you've given your all?
And they mean your all. And this isn't me. This is according to past guests and some of the reports. That when they say give your all, they mean bend over and touch them damn toes. Give it all.
It seems like you can't make it through. Well, you just stand when there's nothing left to do. You just stand.
All right, I don't want to play too much of this show because they could be like, this is copyright. Oh, is that the preacher singing? Oh, boy got oh, okay, we're just flipping through. Oh, boy got vocals. Let's hear what they got to say now.
Of the Morgan State University, the Reverend Dr. Alfred Vaughn from the
Reverend Doctor, a man of the spirit and a man of the books. Brother David, welcome to the show. I don't understand how we always have 50, 60 people only get like 10, 12 likes, but that's okay. But let's hear what the good Reverend Doctor has to say.
The clergy, Mr. Larry Gibson, his mentor, and then Deaconess Margaret Ann Howey from New Psalmist Baptist Church. Secretary Clinton, won't you give her a hand as she comes?
Secretary Clinton. They dress like Catholics.
This is the day the Lord has made. Let us
Hallelujah. Y'all bring your hot sauce.
rejoice and be glad in it. Because this is the day for the homegoing celebration of a great man.
Isn't it funny, y'all, to hear these words from someone? And once again, this isn't me. You can Google this. You can research it in your library. But some of the people that she's put down into a box she's celebrating right now, isn't it quite tragic? I mean, this is the show. This is the puppet show I want to show you. And I'm so thankful to the confidential informant who sent me this link. Thank you. This is the game. Let's play. Let's listen, because I give Miss Clinton her due. She is a master tactician, meaning, the chick accumulated a lot of power.
A moral leader and a friend.
She's obviously not talking about Bill.
Bishop Walter Scott Thomas and First Lady of the Church, Patricia Thomas, and the New Psalmist Baptist Church.
Mr. and Mrs. Thomas and New Psalmist.
Thank you for welcoming us all here to reflect on the life and celebrate the service of Elijah Cummings. And to the Cummings family, to his political family, the constituents from the Maryland Congressional 7th District, thank you for sharing him with our country and the world. And
yeah, just pretty much like the doctor said, huh? There's Obama, our president, my bad, former President Obama. I'm not for sure who that is. Don't know who that is.
Thank you, Maya. As you have said so beautifully, you walked by Elijah's side on this journey.
Wait, they got Obama sitting by the widow? That's his woman? That's, oh, wow. Well, he had better taste in women than he did political parties. But, the thing is, man, why did they have Obama sent? Shouldn't that be like the son or daughter sent by the mother? Oh, I'm not. Who knows?
Thank you for your steadfastness, your resilience, and your leadership.
And your non-for-profit organization.
It is no coincidence, is it, that Elijah Cummings shared a name with an Old Testament prophet, whose name meant in Hebrew, "The Lord is my God."
Hold on. Isn't this Miss pro-abortion? I mean, if we're all about killing babies, and we're gonna throw the Bible in the mix, isn't that kind of anti-God? I'm just saying, this is how the political game's played, yeah.
And who used the power and the wisdom that God gave him to uphold the moral law.
Yeah, the moral law. Like two men getting married. That's moral. Disarming the citizen. Oh, yeah, that's moral. Grinding up unborn babies and giving them to companies that inject people with serums. That's moral. And I'm not even going to get started on GMOs.
That all people are subject to, and because of, all people are equal. Like the prophet,
I don't know why
our
this is so
Elijah
low.
could call down fire from heaven.
No, that's because the world's upside down. That's really fire coming from hell.
But he also prayed and worked for healing. He weathered storms and earthquakes, but never lost his faith.
Do they have earthquakes in Maryland? Anybody? Can anyone hear me? Is the volume even on this thing? I don't know why the volume on my head or my speakers are so low right now, but yeah, they're low. Hold on. I'm going to see something. I'm going to crank her up to 100%.
Like that Old Testament prophet, he stood against corrupt leadership of King Ahab and
Oh, I thought she was about ready to say corrupt leadership of Bill and Hillary Clinton. Oh,
Queen Jezebel.
So what are we pointing out? Government's been corrupt since today and yesteryear now, and they're clapping. Yay, our corruption's lasted, all these endured. Brother Isaac, welcome to the show. We're just doing a breakdown of the Democrats honoring Mr. Cummings, Mr. Elijah Cummings, a fellow human being that has succumbed to the battle of life. You missed it though, Isaac. Hillary Clinton just evoked God and Bible. It was kind of beautiful, but yet scripted somehow. Look at that hat. Is that Lightfoot? I'm not for sure.
And he looked out for the vulnerable among us. He lifted up the next generation of leaders.
Of tranny skirts. And no, I'm just playing.
Leaders. He even worked a few miracles.
Yeah, like getting the heart on about Viagra. I'm sorry. No, it's just when I remember what the doctor said about girl having strong hands crushing up those pills or whatnot. This is what it's all about, yeah, because irregardless of what I'm saying, he's going to be pretty much remembered by what this panel of folks is saying. He's going to be remembered by this report. And would it be nice to, when you pass away, to have your local politicians and national figures basically use your death as a political event? Well, isn't that a kind of, what I mean? It's like from cradle to grave, man, type dedication.
And he kept reminding us, life is no dress rehearsal. The American people...
The fuck is not, Miss Clinton. It is a dress rehearsal. And no one knows exactly where this thing's going. I mean, granted, I know her and Bill have plans within plans. I get that. But even their plans are subject to the anomalies of life. Like no one who's human knew that, for instance, this show was going to come into existence and was going to have the effect and power it has. We do not know this. We don't know who's going to be energized to actually engage or who's going to merely just be sidelined. We have no clue. The puppet masters of this government, the puppet masters of this world, orchestrates people in their production. And one has to ask themselves, what are we producing? See, Mr. Cummings now is true product of the earth. He's true history of the earth. He's right along there with the dinosaurs, with Napoleon, with all the things that have come to earth and ceased to exist. Earth is a place to come and die. Here's a secret, folks. The whole universe is ultimately in a state of death. It's not so much the earth, it's this whole 3D realm. Nothing here is permanent, including the stars, including the planets. Now, it's permanent from our point of view because we live such kind of short lives compared to even a tree. But when our spirits depart from this body, now I would say you can ask Mr. Cummings, but you can't. Things happen. Let's continue.
Want to live their lives without fear of their leaders. And as leaders, we have a responsibility to keep the promises made when running for office to make the lives of Americans better. As Elijah said, while we're all on this earth, that's my message. Our Elijah was a fierce champion for truth.
Man, they talk about dude like he's a slave. Our Elijah, boy, he could pick some cotton. I didn't mean to say that. The spirit just, it was just an outburst. I'm thinking it, but I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have ruined this moment for those who are truly enjoying it. Let's continue.
Justice and kindness in every part of his life. His integrity and character, his can-do spirit, made him a guiding light in the Congress. He pushed back against the abuse of power. He was unwavering in his defense of our democracy. He had little tolerance.
Democracy. 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 What is wrong with the republic? Other than the fact it was, the way it was implemented. If it was truly implemented to where every man, woman, and child had rights that no government, no city council, no mob action could infringe upon. What's wrong with that concept? Why do we have to go to this democracy that does not work in the long run? Now, as long as you have the numbers and everyone's kind of popping or brainwashed the same way, it's going to be beautiful. But as soon as that next generation or generation after that comes through, totally different set of values, it's not functionable. That's why Republic is so valuable. That's why it's so needed. It just has to be truly implemented. But before we can truly implement the virtues of a republic, we're just going to go down the democratic road. Absolutely disgusting.
Tolerance for those who put party ahead of country or partisanship above truth. But he could find common ground with anyone willing to seek it with him.
And for the right price tag. You put $1 million on this desk, we can make it legal for you to sleep with your dog. That's just satire, y'all. Just satire. I have to make these outbursts. If not, quote unquote, this wouldn't be a commentary production. This would just basically be fucking copyright infringement. This is why. This is an educational program. Now, I don't get up here and personally tout any one political party over it. I mean, I'm doing an expose right now on the Democratic Party. I've had Republican guests. I've had Democratic guests on the past shows as well. Brother Al, welcome to the show. Peace and power. The reason why I want to show this, I want you all to see, and I'm going to drill it all the way through this thing. I want you all to see the puppeteers manipulate the puppets. Who does God favor? Hillary Clinton or Elijah Cummings? Let's continue.
And he liked to remind all of us that you can't get so caught up in who you are fighting that you forget what you are fighting for.
Yep, ask Bernie Sanders. See, he was fighting for that $600,000 home by the lake. Hold on, let me, because I think Bernie's one that's missing from this cabal, but Bernie Sanders buys a new home. See, I keep on overpricing Bernie. See, Bernie only bought a $575,000 vacation home. August 2016. All right. I keep on saying it's a 600,000. What's 20 G's amongst friends? But that's what Bernie's fighting for. He's fighting for his people and his family, which one who's rational shouldn't have no problem with it. It's only when the rhetoric and the propaganda causes harm to others. That's the issue. Now, this whole socialism nonsense will cause irreparable harm to young melanated folks and young poor white folks and young folks in general. Because socialism is just like democracy. Whoever's the most, they're getting the most of the pie, and everyone else haven't helped you. Communism is just a cunt hair worse than that. And capitalism, well, within its boundaries, you have to understand on this one, we all can speak as experts because we have all been immersed into the capitalistic economic system. And I ask you this, I won't say, I ask you, how has capitalism benefited you personally, viewer? How has capitalism benefited you personally, chatter, or oppressed you? Either benefit or oppress you. How has it? Now let's get back to this parade of sorrow.
Even his political adversaries recognized that it wasn't really about politics for our Elijah. He led.
Who is this our Elijah she keeps referring to? Our Elijah. Like I got a damn certificate for old boy in my pocket. Or is it a receipt? Let's continue.
From his soul. He often said that our children are a message to a future we will never see. I saw that firsthand when I attended an event for the Elijah Cummings youth program in Israel.
Oh, wow. He has a youth program in Israel. I'm sure those young Jewish boys dealing with the oppression of the Palestinians and all. I'm sure they're going to benefit for his, for his wisdom and knowledge of the geopolitical region. Or perhaps we're not even talking about European descended Jews. Maybe he was over there dealing with the Ethiopian Jews. They're not being oppressed by the Palestinians, but rather by the Israeli government. Now, why would she come to this place, Baltimore? And we literally have reports of Baltimore, and I'm just being hyperbolic now, literally burning down around her to the ground. And she's sitting up here talking about what this man's done for Israel. The town you're speaking in, y'all. Just see it in your minds with me, please. The town you're speaking in. And this guy's supposed to be a civil rights leader. The town you're speaking in is quite literally burning to the ground with abortions, prostitution, drugs, gang violence, so-called black and black crime. But you're going to sit up here in this church and talk about a youth program that he's doing for boys in Israel. I can't make it up.
A leadership program for young people in his district. And Elijah didn't just put his name in every part of his life.
Hold on. I didn't hear. Hold on, baby, I got that wrong. I'm listening. Listen up.
His integrity and character, his can-do spirit made him a guiding light in the Congress. He pushed back against the abuse of power. He was unwavering in his defense of our democracy. He had little tolerance for those who put party ahead of country or partisanship above truth.
I think it's right here.
But he could find common ground with anyone willing to seek it with him.
Right. Ching, ching.
And he'd like to remind all of us that you can't get so caught up in who you are fighting that you forget what you are fighting for.
That's when I talked about Barney and that $600,000 house.
Even his political adversaries recognized that it wasn't really about politics for our Elijah. He led from his soul. He often said that our children are a message to a future we will never see. I saw that firsthand when I attended an event for the Elijah Cummings youth program in Israel.
Okay.
a leadership program for young people in his district. And Elijah didn't just put his...
Hold on. Now, how can we go from Israel to his district? A youth program, and then I guess there's a leadership program in his district she also attended. I'm not replaying it, but just think about it.
Name on the program and then forget about it. He interviewed every applicant.
I bet he did. I bet he did. So in the next few years, when we hear about such and such, I don't want to say no names, touch me at a youth leadership, man, fuck that. If you really want to help the youth, man, what you do is empower the mother and father of the youth. You don't gather them up and put them in a little camp or put them in a little building. If you really and sincerely want to help the children, you give their parents, the ones who made love, the ones who squirted and shared juices to make that baby, you give them the ability, the financial means to raise that baby. That's how you help the damn Jew. The rest of this bullshit, all we're gonna deal with, y'all, mock my fucking words, is a few years from now, crying in the tabloids, we're gonna find out someone got their booty busted wide open. That's it. See, I don't play that you fucking bullshit game. I'm gonna give the knowledge to the mom and dad. Now y'all take the knowledge and run with it and do what you got to do with it, and then you help your babies. This is the problem, man. All these damn everybody. Oh, I put up a soup kitchen for 6 months, and now I'm Sister Teresa type bullshit. Let's continue.
He was personally invested in their success. He wanted all of us to see our young people as he memorably asked us to do when he gave the eulogy at the funeral for Freddie Gray. Did you?
Wow. That's not a victory when you're giving a fucking eulogy at a young person's funeral. That's actually a defeat. That's a unequivocal loss. She's slipping. The mistress of manipulation, the dominatrix, is slipping. She's going off script.
You see him. By the time these young people came back from Israel to
the ones who survived
Baltimore, they had celebrated Shabbat, studied Hebrew, hiked up Masada. They had seen and been seen and made lifelong friends.
Okay, so now I'm thinking the pictures come together. So he's going to apparently, on the taxpayer's dime, send all these boys, I'm assuming they're boys, maybe a few chicks, I don't know, to Israel for some sort of seminar and then back home. Why did you do that shit in Baltimore? Oh, duh, Baltimore's on fire. That's why you had to go to Israel to do a couple things. Come back. Come on.
All because Elijah Cummings knew from his own experiences that it's one thing to learn abstractly about the world, but another to experience it with people different from yourself, learning from each other, lifting each other up. You know, Elijah often said his philosophy was simple: do something. Go out and do something. No matter how daunting a problem seems, no matter how helpless you...
Yeah, but here's the trick. Or here's the kick. Whatever you do, make sure it's constructive for humanity. Whatever you physically do. Now, you can talk about whatever. You can say, and I'm a big proponent of freedom of speech. I believe if we had more freedom of speech instead of less freedom, we would actually be united. You see, in my experience, I've often noticed when people say some retarded shit, even if it is sincere or with passion, once they hear it, once they see other people's reaction to it, then they can start making self-corrections, start making self-change. But if these people never speak these words, and hopefully chastised by the words, not injured, but just corrected, then we can have true victory. But whenever you're dealing with people or persons who are not honest with their speech, who are not honest with their feelings, who are not honest with their point of view, whether it agrees with your point of view or not, it's irrelevant. There can never be room for self correction, either in yourself or in the other person. That's why the First Amendment of the Republic was the right, freedom of speech, and a free press. Brothers and sisters in the United States of America, you citizens, I'm talking to you specifically. I ask you one question, and please be honest. Do you have true freedom of speech? I know that's a very simple question, but it has a very real answer. Let's continue.
Feel surely there is something you can do. I think that remains his challenge to each of us. As he said, even if it seems small, there's
She's like, I don't know if she ever had a relationship with Cummings, but she's pouty and she's blushing at the same time. That's Miss Camilla Harris, Democrat. I forget which state. But like I said, that looks like Michael Jackson right here. Oh my, that looks like, I know it's a chick, but this chick in the blue behind Camilla Harris looked like Michael Jackson.
usually something you can do if you are looking for it. You can defend the truth. You can defend democracy. You can lift up others. And toward the end of his life,
But how are any of these folks lifting up others? Thank you, Sister Kathy, California. It's only because it's in a huge type that I can see that shit. This is my question. We have a woman who brought a crime bill that put a lot of poor people and people like him behind bars. We have a prosecuting attorney at the time, not the same simultaneously, a few years afterwards, using said bill to literally put parents in jail for truancy of their child. Now, I don't understand why the parents didn't just pull the children out of school and homeschool them before it got to such a point. But maybe that's the point. Maybe there's so many people out here who, instead of being taught how to, dance and all that, they should have been taught how to uh, actually maneuver the system. Brother David, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on there, Cool Pat?
Hey, just breaking down this tragic, event. A funeral to me are tragic. I think they're bad. They're sad at bare minimum. So, what do you have to share with us today, brother?
Did you say a funeral?
Yeah, well, this is like Elijah's coming funeral that I'm covering right here. Yeah, you'll think it's a Democratic event, but it's really a funeral. They're like, he's out of frame, but he's literally right below her in a box.
Oh, well, I asked you to show, on the images and all, thanks for the memories. And I believe her name is Susan Bryce or something like that.
Susan Bryce. Let's look this up real quick while I got you on the phone. Hold on. Oh, come on, come back. Hold on one second.
Yeah, now after that, or as I listen and learn,
Susan Bryce. No, they got Susan Rice.
Bryce.
Yes, it should be Bryce. Susan Bryce. And what was the name of the song?
Thanks for the memories. Okay, and in a nutshell, sir, Bob Hope, Handlers, Nixon, Handlers, Bohemian Grove, then Hillary that you're talking about. No worries about that. We know about how Doc Short broke down Cummings, Laws, all and the rest. After that, buy Naga to show the book, let them read, and then you catch it about page 292 or something like that.
Oh, it's a book. Okay, I was looking for a song.
Deep knowledge, and it's all on PDF. I don't have time to spend all that bullshit books on Amazon. I'm Amazonian. ING, that is. Have fun with it now, Pat.
I see it. I see it. Bryce Taylor, though, Mind Control.
Well, yeah, Taylor. See, you got to understand how it works.
Wow.
Last I'll say is this, Pat. Peace be upon Benazir Bhutto. I believe she's a Pakistani or something like that. Bin Laden and his kidney been fucked up since 2001. It's all been lies ever since not John Hanson, the first president ever, A. Moore. And now I'm done. Bye, Naga.
Right on. Right on. Well, thank you, Brother David. That's what I love about the chatters. They're interactive. What he's talking about, and I'm gathering, especially from this imagery right here, if you guys can see it, is the way it went down. There's Bob Hope. This guy's obviously some sort of mobster. Kissinger, Reagan, all of them. Thanks for the memories. The truth has set me free. Wow. And that's what this is about. Let's hear more.
He said, I am begging the American people to pay attention to what is going on. Because if you want to have a democracy intact for your...
What if you don't want a democracy, though? That's the question I'm asking you, Miss Clinton. What if you want a republic that's free from your whims? That says you can't come in and just do what you want with me and my family. There was a procedure. First, you have to get evidence, then have some sort of judge sign off, and then execute the warrant. You see, a republic, if it's put together correctly, frees you. A democracy, as soon as the winds of opinion changes, it convicts you. And that's what we're seeing as more people believe that we are living in a democracy. We're seeing more and more convictions. This is supposed to be, and I know I'm falling prey to the basic propaganda. Home of the free, land of the brave. But in reality, because there's people who don't want to share in that vision, they don't want to share in that dignity and respect. So they're going to tear the shit down. No, fuck that. We're going to have democracy. That's what you want, huh? We have to see that democracy only works for those who are demonic. Republic only works for those who want to be free. If you lived in a republic and you enjoyed speaking freely, and one of the tenets of the republic is that you have the right to speak your mind whenever, wherever, however, no laws can infringe upon that, then how are you sitting there and tolerating you can't say fire in the theater? If you live in a republic that you have freedom of speech and you can speak your mind, whether it be truth or false, whatever. Because if we try to live up to the standard, everything a person has to say or should say or can say must be the truth, then every one of y'all will be locked up, including myself. If we're going to hold that high of a standard on journalism, that high of a standard on public interaction, it has to be truthful, then what the fuck? Because most of y'all don't even know the truth of the thing. Now we have facts all day long, but propaganda is facts. They're just facts strung together to produce a certain behavior. But truth is different. You see, facts or democracy. Truth is a republic. Let me explain that for the uninitiated. Facts. Pluto used to be a planet. That's a fact. But because scientific opinion has changed, and I guess the way they calculate and the criteria for planets, systems, or bodies have changed, so Pluto has been downgraded. If Pluto was in a republic, no matter how many scientists wants to do something, well, let's change the state. Well, you can change it, but it still ain't gonna affect Pluto's status. Then you understand what a republic's all about. Then you understand why men and women died to defend the fucking republic, not a fucking democracy. They died not so that their fucking banks and shit can buy off the politicians and that their grandchildren have to mortgage their fucking home. No, they died in hopes that their rights as citizens would be honored for generations to come. Well, piss on that. There will be no planet. There will be no countries. And there will be no us if we continue down this path we're on. We're only going to get help, but we're only going to get in the way we're going. And I'm telling you, without a fundamental change of direction, the only help mankind will get is further help to divide us and ultimately for us to destroy ourselves. Let that sink in as we hear more live or more of this presentation.
Children and your children's children and generations yet unborn, we have got to guard this moment. This is our watch.
And even that watch isn't made in America nor Sweden. Her watch comes from China. That's some code, yeah.
Or Elijah knew, because he was a man of faith and a man of the church, that life was fleeting.
Hold on, I got it. Hold down, spirit. Just hold down. Elijah Cummings supported same-sex marriage. Elijah Cummings was an LGBTO or LGBTQ plus rights hero. This is October 17th, 2019. Not that long ago, y'all. Elijah Cummings, LGTB, civil rights, passed away, died. Wow. Okay. So hold on. Now this is the man of the word. Now apparently, now and we're gonna play that back so you can hear Sister Clinton say these words herself, not me. I'm just breaking it down. Maryland Congressman Elijah Cummings said on Tuesday he expected voters will support the state same-sex law. Okay, first voice support of marriage equality. So it's really safe to say that he's pro man love. He recognizes that, right? See, this is the bullshit. In a republic, guess what? That's already protected. If the republic is put together correctly. Because we have allowed the government to regulate everything from your underwear to your mattress, we get these anomalies. We get ungodly people sitting up here talking about godly stuff in a very serious situation. Now, it's one thing to accept the book or accept the word, whatever word we're talking about. But isn't another thing to just use the word just in moments where you think you need it, but then the rest of the time, no, we're going by a different playbook. See, when we really analyze the devastation a senator, a representative, a president can do, or even a Supreme Court justice, the devastation they can do. It's only devastating when we're looking at this thing outside of, is it a democracy or is it a republic we're dealing with? Because if it was a republic we are truly dealing with, then they cannot harm us. They can only harm business because business really isn't a live being. So when we're talking about government, we should be regulating the businesses, saying, no, Monsanto, you cannot make chemicals that kills everything, even the babies. Gives them leukemia and cancer. No. Instead, they're going to be looking at whether that baby attended the government schools or not, or whether they need to arrest the parents. But yet Monsanto and all them, you still can spray the Roundup in front of the schools. You still can spray the Roundup on the city sidewalks. You still can spray the Roundup in front of the courthouse because we don't want those weeds. But yet, then in the same breath, they talk about global warming with all this landscaping and manicuring going on. That's what we're dealing with here, people. This is the type of individuals that are the governors. But who is governing them? Let's check this out.
And precious. And that's why he works so hard to make every moment of his life count. When we're dancing with the angels.
No, stop. No, I can't say it. Oh my gosh. That's just chills down. Hold on. Y'all have to hear what she says. When we're dancing with the angels. Oh my God, this chick is out to lunch.
And generations yet unborn, we have got to guard this moment. This is our watch. Our Elijah knew, because he was a man of faith and a man of the church, that life was fleeting and precious. And that's why he worked so hard to make every moment of his life count.
Now, right before she gets into the cringy bit, I'm sorry, I'm drumming this home, man. See, this is why churches and all that religion is getting such a bad rap. When you have individuals who are representing a thing, whether it be the Pope, whether it be a bishop, whether it be a priest, a friar, whatnot. Once you identify this person as this, then it opens up the door for all, especially when they're in a public capacity like a senator or a representative, or a member of the court or whatever, to scrutiny. You have to understand words mean things. So to the uninitiated person that's only been indoctrinated with the baseline, they're ultimately going to come to the conclusion that, yeah, you can support gay marriage and be a Christian. Yeah. You can support abortion, be a Christian. Sure. You can support um, marriage affairs and all this stuff and be a Christian. It's all good. This is what this whole event that we're watching and breaking down. And trust me, folks, we ain't gonna do. We're gonna break this up. We're just gonna hit the big people. But I can't go to the next fish until we're finished frying this fish. Because there's some smelly stuff here, and it's just not what's in the box. Now listen to this cringy bit that she's about ready to try to put in your minds.
When we're dancing with the angels, the question will be asked, he said, in 2019, what did we do to make sure we kept our democracy intact?
That's, yeah, clap on that, yeah, because she said it right. Their democracy. Because don't forget, democracy is only going to work for them. Democracy is two racist men and one black guy voting on who's going to do the shit work. That's a democracy. Two racist guys, I mean hating racist guys, and one black man voting on who's going to clean out the latrine, who's going to dig the ditch, who's going to be cannon fodder. Let's put it to vote. That's what democracy is. Versus a republic. You know, you can have the racist guys. You can have the black guy. You can have the white guy. You can have whomever. But in republic, whoever does the shit work should be determined by who's most capable of doing the shit work. Who's most capable of digging a ditch? Is it a guy that went to Harvard? Or is it a guy that just went to the bar? Who's most capable of performing advanced medical procedures? Is it the guy who just looks a certain way, fits some sort of script, or is it a guy that really went to medical school? You see, the reason why the system is inevitable going to fail is because it has room that allows for incompetent, borderline retarded individuals to get vast power and influence, vast access to wealth and compensation. And when the inevitable mismanage occurs, there's consequences. Just like back in the early 80s, when it was U.S. intelligent policy to in some way arm the Chinese People's Liberation Army to somehow put a pressure on quote unquote Russia or pretendo big bad wolf. Now, all that theater only accomplished one thing. It gave the Chinese the ability to challenge us for just one shipping lane. It'll be the South China Seas. This is all the part of the plan. Once again, hold on. Let me do this. This book cover shows it perfectly. Reagan sold out to the Chinese. Bush. Okay, and you have. I wish I had other people. I can't really get into what I know about Bush Senior. Not at this present moment in time. But I can get into what I know about the Clintons. I can get into what I know about Bush Jr. I can get into what I know about Obama and Trump. And what it is has been shared on the show millions and millions of times. It's been articulated this way and that way. We are dealing with a family issue. As above in society, so too below. Now, these families aren't squabbling over mom and dad's blender or, the family's Bible or whatever, the family Quran or family Veda Sutra or the family's Book of Enlightenment, whatever. No, we're squabbling over who gets the plunder of the earth. We're squabbling over who gets to actual pretend to be the king or prime minister. And it's only because of language barriers. We can't really share. Those of us who are not bilingual, those of us who only speak one language, we can't really rightfully and readily organize with those who speak a foreign language, no matter if we have the same intentions or not. It's irrelevant because we would not be effective. So I'm just breaking out the barriers so that maybe some of you younger, smarter, more in tune people will figure out a solution. We got the language barrier. We have the cultural barriers. We have the racial barrier. We have the sexual barrier. And we have the sex barrier. All those culminate into the one barrier that we all can recognize and see for what it is, and that's the economic barrier. But all the others comes before this, because this barrier is only quantifiable or is only realized depending on how you scored in the rest of it. How many people, brothers and sisters, I don't care where you're from, if you can hear me, and even if you hear me on playback, when you get to this point, and heaven bless you for listening for so long, how many people have known a wealthy individual that got busted? Meaning they got busted running prostitution, running drugs, doing criminal, whatever. I can type a one on that. What I'm really witnessing wasn't a anomaly or anything like that. What I was really witnessing was the system producing a deviant and empowering and giving resources to those to take care of the deviant problem. This is how it works. When you think you're fighting a system, you're doing exactly what the system wants. What is this? What does the system want is my question. What does the damn system want? Control over you. It just wants control over you. I want to see you free. I want to see you strong. I want to see you prospering. I want to see you actually rebuking human hate, human disunity. I want to see us take these resources and technology that was meant for our death and destructions, but manufacture, baby, a robot that's only here to serve and protect. Because the metal man is coming. The metal man is here. The metal man has been here before. There's nothing new under the sun. Well, this internet's new, true. How do you know? We're finding new technology every day in archaeology. And I'm not just talking about the really crazy one like the Antioch device. The planet has been ravaged by nuclear war before. The glass in the Saharan desert proves that. Cities where you can go inside and see that the people were actually carbonized in different death poses all throughout the street proves that. The one thing we don't have evidence, though, is of humanity uniting as one. I would actually go on the record. I would actually learn a brand new language if it truly meant that I could communicate with every man, woman, and child that I come across in my travels throughout the world. There's nothing more frustrating than having to go through some fucking jukey ass translator or have a jukey ass translator to interpret for you. How many wars have been fought because when we're sitting at the table, a slip of the tongue, instead of me saying, I think that you're a brave and powerful warrior, I say, I think you're an impotent pussy in his language, the ambassador's language or the king's language. And I'm sitting there smiling, thinking I did something good, and I just insulted this man. How many times you think that occurred way back in the day? The point is, when you're starting to look, now I want to get back to here because I don't want to. I don't want to go too long. Fuck. All right, I'm going to dedicate this last little bit to here. We'll break it down really quick. I think this is all the. Who's that?
I will end with the paraphrase of a poem that Elijah recited in his very first speech in the Congress. He said that he told himself this poem as many as 20 times a day. I only have a minute, 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, I did not choose it, but I know that I must use it. Give account if I abuse it, suffer if I lose it. Only a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. Thank you, Elijah Cummings, for your work, your service, and the lessons you leave us. God bless you.
Wow. God bless you. I don't know who. We're gonna bypass the little nobodies like this chick here. Oh no, that ain't nobody. That's somebody. That's Her Majesty Pelosi, the godmother. Where's the choir? Oh, come on, man. We don't need all this. Oh, here. There they go. Yeah, standing ovation for Nancy.
Good morning, Baltimore. Thank you, Bishop Thomas, for bringing us under this beautiful auspices.
Oh, I didn't know she talks with a lisp.
To pay tribute to our darling, precious Elijah. Mr. President, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President.
Wait, President Trump was there? Or is that just the... Hold on. There it is. Obama, Bill, Biden. Wow. Why did I choose the B instead of saying Joe, William, Barry?
Madam Secretary.
Oh, but don't you know, Brother Leonard, they're going to be dancing with angels. That still just cracks me up every time I hear it.
Archbishop Lori, Bishop, members of the clergy, distinguished guests who are all here for our darling
Will he? Do you know if President Trump speaks?
Elijah. As Speaker of the House, I have the sad honor and personal privilege to bring the condolences of the
Only a Democrat will use the word sad and honor in the same sentence.
Entire Congress of the United States, to Maya, the Cummings family, the people and the constituents of Elijah's district, people of Baltimore, to our entire country. I say that it was so beautiful. And as has been referenced, Elijah brought people together in life of different parties and in his death of different parties. And that's why I'm so pleased that yesterday's service was very bipartisan. In fact, it took bipartisan agreement for Elijah to lie in repose on the same catapult that Abraham Lincoln lay in repose in the Capitol. And so today we
so much for separation of church and state. But you know, it is what it is. You know, as long as the public didn't have to put in dollars to have all these people, you know, tuxedoing, suit and tying it, I have zero problem with this presentation. But we come to find out that this was cost like $2 million to put this shit together and went to the bishop here. I would have a problem with that. Because first it's the Christian church, then what if old boy was a Satanist? Would you guys be cool with $4 million going to a satanic temple? Heaven forbid if he was Islamic. Would you want, I don't know, $2 million going to an Islamic production? This is the way they got us thinking. As long as the cross, which is, what did I tell you guys the other day? The cross is a sign of state death. State. It wasn't the Jews. It wasn't Roman citizens. It was the Roman state. It was the government. All right, let me say it like this, so people. The cross should be the sign of government death. You die at the hands of the government. You could be doing whatever, but they are the ones who put your ass down. Now let's continue with this presentation. And I'm going to make it quick, yeah.
We have a very strong bipartisan of Elijah's colleagues from the House of Representatives, led by our chair of the Black Caucus, Karen Bass, our leader, Steny Hoyer, John Lewis, Marcia, who got the nod.
She keeps on saying R, like a pirate. And they're the booty. R. We got the Black Caucus. R. We got this one. R. We got John Lewis. R.
And I'm happy to get it as well. And so many of our members of the House, in a bipartisan fashion, please rise to be recognized. And their families and their staff, Elijah's staff. John Lewis, where are you, John Lewis?
There he is. He's short.
And we had a strong representation from the United States Senate in a bipartisan way yesterday.
Now, keep this in mind. These are the people who are governing the country. These are the people who make laws that affect everybody's lives. In a democracy, these people have total power. In a republic, they don't.
Today, also led by Ben Cardin and Chris Van Hollen, bring so many senators here today.
Yeah, you brought them in with a bus? All we had to do is get some KFC.
Bishop Thomas, how brilliant was it of Elijah's parents to name him Elijah. As the secretary said, the Lord, the God is my Lord. And as we know from the Old Testament, there is a tradition.
How would she say, as we know? Like she'd be reading it, man? Because, lady, if you read it, then why do you do the policies you do? If you're reading the Old Testament, why are you locking up the people the way you're locking them up? If you read the Old Testament, why are you waging war the way you're waging war? If you read the Old Testament, why are you doing any of it? Why are you even up there talking if you read the Old Testament? Come on now. Just keeping it real. Once again, this political game and the religious game, they're just two systems of control. And sooner you realize that, the sooner you can start breaking the damn control. Let's continue.
To leave a seat at the table for Elijah.
Yeah.
Might show.
And this table is no seat for you. No seat for you, Sister Janice. No seat for you, Sister Kathy. No seat for you, Brother Al. And certainly no seat for you, Brother David. Or that Black Law Dictionary. We don't have a seat at the table, y'all. Well, Elijah did.
Go up. But our Elijah always made a seat at the table for others.
Yeah, he was the waiter. He was the waiter boy. When we're like, hey, we need more wine. Y'all's the boss. He came over there and poured that shit.
He made a seat at the table for children who needed an education.
See, this is starting to really sketch me out, man, how they keep on going back to old boy and these little kids. It creeps me out because I know the type of game that they really play. If y'all don't know, you know, I really don't advocate Alex Jones. I really shouldn't. But the thing that got him in trouble was this deal with Pizzagate. That's what really got him in trouble. Now, Sandy Hook was basically the hook. It was just the icing on the cake. It was like a song. We're going to beat his ass down for Pizzagate. He spilled the beans. Sandy Hook. That was the hook. Now, I'm just saying, in a few years, just do not be shocked when you hear about some discrepancies. By then, what the boys will be probably in their 20s or so. And they'll be like, you know, he was such a great man. He was a civil rights leader. And you know, I was just a poor kid, you know, because the government programs busted up my fucking family, you know, and yeah. I mean, do you guys, okay. Let's stop for 1 second. Stop. I'm going to pause all out of this conversation for 1 second and we'll go back into it. But just think if you had a sick mind and a sick soul. You had it within your powers to economically depress people as a group. Not, you know, you can't single them out, but just as like a fishing net, just throw it out there and grab up some motherfuckers. You purposefully put on these economic stresses and strains to destroy families, to create a situation where dysfunction will not only be the norm, but it'll be revered. And then you can slide down there at midnight, honk the horn, honk, honk, and then go up in the house and do some sexual stuff with some poor people. Do you see that being a possibility? All right, now let's get back into the funeral.
Education for even new members of Congress so that he could mentor them, for all who wanted to be part of the American dream. Elijah himself personally lived the American dream, and he wanted everyone else to have that opportunity. Hence, many seats at the table. How fortunate for
Man,
her.
he was a busy boy. I hate the use of so much exclusionary language, man. Our Elijah instead of the Elijah or Mr. Elijah, you know, because when they're saying our, man, it's not our like ours. It's our me hearty. Our. It's all about them. It's all about the Greek associations with them. It's all about the labor unions with them. It's all about the abortion clinics and all that with them. And he was a part of that machine. This is what we're seeing. It's not a tribute to a statesman or a national figure. No, 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 no. It's a circle jerk for pseudo anti-republic, not Republicans, but Republican ideology, what we've been talking about today. Fuck fest. That's what it is. They probably had tubs of lube with ushers holding it. Be ready to whack off the one to the right and one to the left, and you can do better. Also, gravy and biscuit talk, man. I know I should have more patience. I know I should, but damn it, it's our future at stake, yeah? Let's continue.
Country that his parents also taught him to live up to his name. How blessed are we all to know him and to benefit from his friendship and his leadership. Elijah was a proud man, proud of his heritage, proud of Baltimore. And proud of America. He always appealed to our better angels and to the promise of America.
See, when they keep on invoking angels, man, it's almost like they're telling us they're fucking with angels. But the only angels they can interact with, and this is the deep bit, are angels that are fallen. Because angels in heaven's not hearing what they're talking about. I'm telling you, angels in heaven really ain't, quite frankly, hearing what any of us are talking about. The fallen angels are. They can deal with you. And don't forget, every nation has a demon and every nation has an angel. Or so it was written. Let's continue. Now we're wrapping this up soon.
Calling us to live up to our principles and for a higher purpose. As he said, and this is so, all the words that we will use that are the best words are words that Elijah used. He was when we were not meeting the needs of children in our country, he said, we are better than this.
And why are you not meeting the needs of our children? Or even the needs of the children in Buffalo? And I'm just paraphrasing, but it has been discussed on this program that her father, your father, Miss Speaker, helped or encouraged Jewish mafia members to bring in dope. Now, how is putting parents on dope good for the children? And how is making some little program to help the children possibly reach adulthood just to be put on the same dope that their parent was on? How is that good for the community again? I mean, can we look at the outside of our windows right now, folks? Those of you in an urban area, please look outside your window right now and ask yourself, how has that helped this community? When you see the whore down there in this car sucking a dick, when you see some kid getting jumped into a gang, when you see some old man sitting there on a park bench, pissed himself, remembering about the good old days, ask yourself, seriously and sincerely, ask yourself, has their policy been good for the community overall? Do you see flowers and trees and people happy and kids playing in the street on skateboards and scooters and bicycles? Or do you see broken heroin syringes, whiskey bottles, McDonald's wrappers all over the damn place? Is it good for the community? Yes or no? Let's listen to her evoke God's name. And I will hope they were talking about the Most High, the most righteous, the most powerful. All glory to him. But alas, I fear they're not.
He held himself to a high standard, and that is why I've called him the North Star of Congress.
Oh, the North Star. For those into anime, that has some significance, but I won't get into all that. Let's continue.
Our guiding light. Thank you, Maya, for giving me this opportunity to speak at the Baltimore celebration as well as yesterday of Elijah's life. Previously, I've seen some of you over time speaking as Speaker of the House before at St. James Episcopal Church to speak at the funeral service for Congressman Parren Mitchell, a sad and proud day for the Baltimore community and our country that day. Paying tribute to Parren was both an official and a personal honor. My D'Alessandro family and the Mitchell family.
D'Alessandro family. Hold on. Let's see what Google has. D'Alessandro family in Baltimore tied to mob. Let's see. Revelation. JFK worried Pelosi staff was associated with blah, blah, blah. Was a companion with my boss. So, yeah. Sit it down and eat some linguine till it's coming out your little weenie. Let's continue.
Had been friends for generations. Now it is my great honor and personal sadness to join you at the New Psalmist Baptist Church, Elijah's Church, to celebrate Elijah's life. As I said yesterday, members of Congress.
You know, I can't help but to say, though, you see who they led off with. You know, the little black pastor guy or bishop or whatnot. Then they immediately went with Hillary Clinton. They're going with her. I think it's going to be women and then the men. All right. It shows you the status. You know, obviously this isn't, you know, it's meant to be shown as diverse and multiracial and all that kumbaya. But I got one serious question. Would they be cool? Would you see them all at a wedding if it was Elijah's son marrying Hillary Clinton's daughter? Elijah's coming son, you know, my Elijah, if he has a boy, I don't know. I'm just throwing this out there hypothetically. Will it all be tongue-in-cheek like that at that wedding? Or will it be something different? And then you can see if this is truly a kumbaya situation where races are respected and dignified, and this is true love and true unity, true humanity, a bursting fruit of unity. Or is this some sort of 2.0 clientele, co-opt some ideologies just to promote the culture of death type shit? Let's see what this is.
Said goodbye to Elijah. Maya gave us the honor again of holding that official service in the statuary hall of the House. At that time, I said,
hold on. And at this time, I'm asking, where are all the preachers at? No, seriously, where are all the pastors and ministers and bishops at? Me? True Power's Mind has to come on here and break this shit down. How come I can't be like everybody else, sit there with my damn popcorn and soda and watch your video, man? I shouldn't be doing this. A minister should be doing this show right now, breaking down religiously the connotations of what they're talking about here. I'm only doing it because if I don't do it, I know it won't get done. I know that this will just go by the wayside and these thoughts will never come out. Because any news media you're going to hear about this event, and I'm calling it an event. It's not a funeral. This is a fucking event. They probably sold tickets to the bitch and everything. Regular news media would just circle jerk on what is being presented here. Now, you got some very ungodly acting people, acting as if they are the chosen. And this goes deeper than just them. Yeah, I'm not saying this to attack them personally. I'm not even really at this point, they don't even matter because we're all ending up in a box like Elijah. Quite literally, we all are going there. My attack is how they are distorting the situation to make them look like they are of the Most High. So when they say it's okay for us to conduct insider stock trading to ensure our riches, best you do it, citizen, you're going to jail. That's bad. When they say it's okay for, you know, us to limit free speech, if you say illegal aliens or if you call someone a faggot, you're getting fined or going to jail. That's wrong. Because even on that basis, how many people would be going to jail or getting fined for calling people niggers? I mean, if hate crime is such a awful, ugly thing, and which it is, I'm not saying it's not, but it is. How come the word nigger or nigga isn't on that? Oh, could it possibly be because all those rap albums would just be like hate crimes to even listen to rap music? Or at least the older rap. Now I don't know about the newer rap. I just haven't really listened to. The only new artist I've heard is Lecrae. Now you guys probably never heard of him anyhow, but I like his beats and I like his message. And as far as brainwashing goes, it's not that bad of a wash. How many people, when you bring this point up, the conversation gets shut down? We got to protect the homosexuals, or even that much. What if you start throwing the small hats? You can't say Jew no more. You have to say small hat. You can't say Hebrew no more. You have to say small hat. Everything's small hat. Anything else, any other voice pattern than small hat is hate. And since when is hating really against the law? I mean, it certainly wasn't against the law when they were hating black folks. It certainly wasn't against the law then. The reason why they're making these laws is because things are quite rapidly changing faster than they would care to tell you. There's more brothers and sisters from Ohio than you can shake a stick at. What I mean by brothers and sisters from Ohio, I'm talking about people who are fed up and the rage you're playing with isn't going to be pretty. What I mean by Ohio is men and women at their breaking point. So then there comes the argument. Well, it's true, we have to suppress freedom of speech, or else these people are going to get insightful and do something. They don't know what they're going to do, but they know they're going to do something. And by God, it's better that you do absolutely nothing than something. Because something's not in their script. Everything that they're predicated on becoming the future is being predicated on you doing nothing. The Antichrist is going to come to rise because what? You didn't do nothing. Hitler came to rise because what? You didn't do nothing. Genghis Khan came to rise because the Romans trained him and you didn't do nothing. Maybe that's why you're all even here to begin with. Maybe this is your collective karmatic fate. Each and every one of you guys have been, what is that called? Reincarnated. You guys are all victims of the Holocaust, victim of the smallpox plague, victim of slavery, victim of Native American genocide. And you have to come back in this form to stand up against the government. Not just this government, but all governments. The UN, EU, the communists, the socialists. And maybe in that, you will find liberation. Because you're not going to apparently go to the next phase of life until you master this one. And once every man has mastered this one, then this whole universe will cease to exist. It won't be needed. We'll be on to greater and better things, hopefully. But we're still stuck on stupid. I love the Russians. I love the Americans. I love the Israelis. I love the Palestinians. I love the South Africans. I love the Central Americans. I love the North Americans. I love the Australians and all the little bitty islands in between. People in Asia, the Chinese. But that's not the real question, is it? The real question is, do you all love each other? Fuck what I love. Do you guys love each other? Because if you love each other, then you want us to survive. If you love one another, then you want not corrupt government. If you love one another, then you wouldn't want fucking polluted streams and poisonous fucking air and hot vaccines. That's the real fucking question. I tell you right now, I love humanity, but it doesn't matter. Until there's a critical mass of other human beings that sees it, or at least understands it, the unity will never be achieved. There'll just be changes of hats until there's quite literally so little biomatter left. And I guess at that respect, those humans that are going to have to experience the terror and know the knowledge that they are truly the last due to mismanagement and hatred of the past. If reincarnation is true, then that's your karmatic debt. Because apparently you would be alive right now, so therefore you could potentially hear these words to change your ways, if you understand English. Well, I guess on that confusing note, we're going to end this show right here, right now, because it is like an hour and damn near 30 minutes. And I don't, it's actually an hour and 32 minutes. And I don't want extremely long shows because I don't want to lose young people. I will make a part two of this. I will make a part two of this. And hopefully it'll wrap it all together. Well, this will conclude TPIMSR Live. I'm your host, True Power is Mine. As always, I ask you to live your life of integrity without hate, envy, or greed. Brothers and sisters, let's please try to be kinder to each other. Peace, power, unity, victory, respect, and dignity, and liberation. I'm out.